Welcome back, fourth grade readers and writers. We're at ELA School, Away from School, and I'm your virtual teacher, Mrs. Ewing. All right, so we're in week 7. We're in that second day of lessons with this text about Rosa Parks, and so we're on daily lesson 31. All right, let's go ahead and look at our guiding questions. What can we learn from the process of ratifying the 19th Amendment? How can stories inspire us to take action to contribute to a better world? How and why can we encourage and support others to contribute to a better world? And you're probably already starting to see how our text about Rosa Parks really fits into the second one, how can stories inspire us to take action, and how her story actually inspired others to take action. All right, so let's go ahead and gather our materials today. You will need that text. Civil rights activist Rosa Parks. You're going to need your lesson 31 lesson plan and your lesson 31 note catcher, along with a sharpened pencil. All right, pause this video, grab your materials now. All right, great. Let's look at our learning target. I can determine the meaning of general and domain-specific words and phrases as they pertain to the article. Civil rights activist Rosa Parks. Now, we've been doing the same learning target over the past several weeks, and we've been really thinking about what close reading strategies help us find the meaning of unknown words and phrases. So I encourage you today to maybe find a new strategy or really hone those close reading strategies in finding the meaning of unknown words and phrases. All right, so let's go ahead and reread the section titled Synopsis with a family member, a caregiver, or a friend. Now you'll find that section synopsis actually on the first page, right under the picture and the caption. You're going to see that subheading synopsis. All right, pause this video. Go ahead and reread that section now. All right, great. Welcome back. All right, so let's go ahead and do some thinking, but I do want to remind you about your close reading strategies. All right, so we can use the context, which means we can read the sentences around that word or phrase, think about what is happening and what would make sense for that word or phrase to mean. You can also use affixes, right? They're the word parts that come out at the beginning or end of the words, and they modify the meaning of the word. And you can also look at the root word for clues. The root words are that part of the word that can actually stand on its own. And then you can use a dictionary, or you can use Google. Now, I'm really going to encourage you though. Remember, we're really building that muscle of finding the meaning of unknown words and phrases, and we do that by using some of our strategies for close reading. All right, so try to go to those first before you use that dictionary or Google. All right, so let's do some thinking. First, I want you to think, what is this section titled Synopsis mainly about? How does this section support the main idea of the whole text? Now remember, yesterday in daily lesson 30, we talked about the main idea of the whole text, right? So if you need to go back to that note catcher, you can, but I want you to think about, how does this section support the main idea of that whole text? All right, what does the word refused mean? What does surrender mean, and how is it used in the text? All right, so we've read, we've done some thinking. Now we're going to go into the discussion. So with your family member, your caregiver, or your friend, talk about the following questions. What does the phrase refuse to surrender her seat mean? Pause this video and talk about it now. Good. All right. What clues can you find in the text that help you understand the meaning of the phrase? Pause this video, talk about that now. Good. Okay, so as you do that, I want us to think about refuse to surrender her seat. Well, first, if I look at that word refuse, I know sometimes my kids actually refuse to do what they're asked, which means they don't do it. So I know that the first part of that phrase must mean she did not do something. And then it uses this word surrender her seat. Usually I don't hear, when we're talking about a seat, we don't talk about surrendering their seat. But I do know this word surrender. I've thought of like prisoners who, or yeah, like prisoners, they'll surrender themselves, which means they'll give up, right? Oh, so if I'm thinking refuse means to not listen, right? Oh, so she didn't listen to giving up her seat, right? In this case, she must have stayed sitting and would not give up her seat. Do you guys see how I did some work around that word to help me? All right, so let's go ahead and do some other work with these words. I want you to think about what is a synonym for the word surrender. Remember, synonym is a word that means the same. Pause this video and go ahead and talk about that now. Good. All right, so what is an antonym for the word refused? Remember, an antonym is a word that means the opposite. So what is a word that means the opposite of refused? All right, pause this video, talk about that now. All right, good. So we just said refused means to not listen. So an antonym of refused must mean to listen or obey, right? Something that means to do, right? All right, good. So now we're going to do some writing. So on the note catcher, I want you to record the meaning of the sentence and how this section supports the main idea of the whole text. So let's look at that first box. First, we're going to talk about what does the quote refuse to surrender her seat mean? Then in that next box, you're going to tell me what clues from the text did you use in order to support your answer. So what strategy did you use to help you? Or clues from the text that helped you? In that third box, you're going to tell me what is a synonym for the word, or what's a synonym for the word surrender. Now remember, a synonym is a word that means the same. What is an antonym for the word refused? Remember, an antonym is the word that means the opposite. And then in the last box, you're going to tell me, how does this phrase, refuse to surrender her seat, support the main idea of that whole text? All right, so we read, we started doing some thinking and growing ideas. We had a discussion to grow those ideas some more, and now we're writing about it. Pause this video, write about it now. All right, great job today. I'm proud of you guys using this note catcher to really to organize your thinking. That was awesome. All right, so now I want you to look at this learning target. I can determine the meaning of general and domain-specific words and phrases as they pertain to the article Civil Rights Activist Rosa Parks. All right, so let's think about the last thing that we wrote on our note catcher. We thought about, how does this phrase connect back to the main idea of the whole text? Doesn't that go right along with this learning target here? How we determine the meaning of general and domain-specific words and phrases as they pertain, connect back to the article, right? All right, good. Great work. All right, so now what we're going to do, you're going to share your note catcher with someone and tell them why you chose to write what you did. After you complete your assignment, remember to read a book with a family member, a caregiver, or a friend for at least 20 minutes. And then you're going to use a timer. So this could be a cell phone timer, kitchen timer. You can have someone count to 60, but you're going to read that passage for 1 minute. You're going to count the words, write that number at the top of your text. This is day 2 with the article, so you should see that number go up. Great work today. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.